What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Lean and Mean Academy. Today's video is a special one. I think this is going to be a very timely, relevant video for where we are in content creation for pressure washing and for your service business. I think a lot of guys, they know the importance of content creation and how that can help you with SEO and your rankings and getting more traffic to your site, which in turn means more customers, which means more money. That's what we're in it for. And if you're not creating content right now, I have to ask, why aren't you? It's definitely something that you should do. We teach it in my courses, how I do it, how I've had success with multiple websites on creating content specifically that Google likes and ranking them in the top 3, even number 1 for national and sometimes worldwide results, driving a ton of traffic to my local business that also creates authority nationally and locally, right? So we rise to the top. That's the whole point. Today, I got my boy Chris Lonergan from Footbridge Media on the line. He's going to elaborate on the new AI software that everybody's been talking about, ChatGPT. Can you use it for content creation? Pitfalls. Is it the god of content creation, or is human touch still needed? What's up, Chris? How are you?
Going good. How about you, Aaron?
Man, I'm excellent. Excellent. Guys, before we jump into this video, Footbridge Media has been running my websites for the last 6 years. They run my brother's site. Pickup Power Washing is going to do $1 million this year in New Jersey. Those guys have a Footbridge Media website. They love it. We got a ton of guys in the inner circle who are using Footbridge Media on the Lean and Mean $199 deal. What this means is normally Footbridge charges $249 a month to build your website and maintain it and update it through those Google algorithmic updates. They also write all the content for that website. It's a ton of content, ton of writing that you and I both know you're not going to do, and it is very needed. They're going to go through that whole process with you and optimize it for Google search, right? Which means more traffic, which means more money. They're the experts. They've been in business since 2004. Usually it's $249 a month. With the Lean and Mean deal, it's $199 a month. You'll save $600 a year. I'll put a link in the description, link in the comments so you guys can grab that deal. I've had you guys doing it forever. I know Southeast Soft Wash, Cody over here, has you guys running their website. It's been a great experience, Chris. So let's talk about ChatGPT, AI content creation, dude. This is obviously the buzz that's been happening in the last 6 months. And let's talk a little bit about, can these guys use it for blogging? Can they use AI to create just a whole blog for them and just send it to you and you guys post it?
No. You know what? There are definitely use cases for using ChatGPT, but a lot of people think it's going to be the replacement for writing. It's not the replacement for writing. It is a tool in the writing process. So you can't just say, hey, ChatGPT, write me a relevant blog post. It'll make some stuff up, but yeah, it'll actually make some stuff up. It may not accurately capture, what you do as a business or even what you should be doing as a pressure washer in general. It might make bad recommendations. It's smart, but it's not the same thing as a human who really knows what they're doing, editing and reviewing and forming those ideas.
For sure. I've seen it just make random shit up. Like, yeah, if you're soft washing a roof, ChatGPT doesn't really know what soft washing is. A lot of the world doesn't know what that is outside of us. And they'll just say, you pressure wash the hell out of that roof. They're plugging this stuff in random spots. You're going to have to proofread it, I'm sure. Tell me about kind of the idea creation side of this. I think it could be useful for that. What do you think?
Absolutely. If you run up into a wall and you don't know, IPPs are a great example for this. If you've done a couple house washing project posts that you've already added to your website and you don't know how to write about it again, that's a great way to do it. You could punch in a couple bullet points and say, I did a house washing, I use this process, I use these chemicals, I use this equipment. Now write me, 3 sentences summary about what I did. And it'll take that and it'll convert it for you. The nice thing there is you're feeding it that information, you're feeding it the facts. So from there, it just can create based on the facts you've already given it. That's really a good use case for it because it's not going to make stuff up. You're hand delivering the vital content, and it could go and make it pretty sounding for you.
Right. So a guy can't just phone it in and make 5 R. What would happen if you just because Google obviously knows that it's AI written. Like,
and Google's got their own thing now. Between ChatGPT and Bard, Google's heavily investing in it, and they've had some really mixed statements about what AI content will or will not be allowed. So it's a really volatile place as far as Google's concerned, and only using straight up AI content.
the irony is Google wants AI, but they don't want AI.
Yeah.
Is that I like it's just with like Neuralink and all this technological shit it's wild, you know what I mean? Like putting computers in people's brains and artificial intelligence writing content. Google's like, no, we want it all, but we do not.
But we need to be making it, and we need to monetize it first. Then you guys can use it.
That's right. That's right. It's just the issue is, I think, and why people were talking about is ChatGPT going to put Google out of business is simply because if they were able to understand proximity, ChatGPT was able to understand proximity and authority, right? Which Google perceives as highly valued. Relevance. I think ChatGPT would probably excel at relevance as opposed to proximity is not even an option for them right now.
And real time is a problem for them too. Yeah, they have real time is a problem for them. So they have information in the training library up into a specific date and time.
Right.
And it's dead to the world after that. So, you can't say, find me a local pressure washer, for multiple reasons. It doesn't know your location. It can't do live web searches for the most part. They're experimenting with that. And also it just doesn't, if your pressure washing business hasn't been there for more than 4 years, maybe it won't find you. So yeah, lots of pitfalls with ChatGPT in that regard.
Do you see like them adding those type of map? Okay, but I don't know who they're going to get the map from because Google's going to own the map, right? Yeah. So, maybe Google ties this in and basically pushes ChatGPT out, similar like an Instagram versus Snapchat. They just stole the real format. Snapchat was like, no, we have this disappearing format that can only stay up for 24 hours. And Instagram was like, all right, bet. And they just did the same thing. And now Snapchat is chopped liver, it's over there. So it's going to be interesting how this unfolds and what Google continues to want. They write the AI and it can write content. Google normally doesn't go against itself. They're very narcissistic in that regard. And so it's going to be interesting how they combat their own narcissism for their own content creation in their own AI platform and not rank it because everyone's going to basically have the same damn article.
Yep. At the end of the day, especially, it's going to be your flavor. Was this written by ChatGPT or by Bard or, whoever's going to come out in the next 3 months and take over?
This is wild.
It's like the Wild West of the web again. It's, you've got generative search capabilities that they're testing for Google now. You've got the crazy fast library that GPT is building up. It's definitely like an arms race to figure out who's going to win the AI generative wars here.
Because I think the issue with content creation in the past was that writing takes a long time. Okay. It's an investment. This is why most people don't write books because I wrote one. It was a long ass time. It took me a long time to write that book. So that, but also authority and expertise, credibility in what you're writing. If AI is the credibility, then maybe Google values the human with a few grammatical errors over the perfectly grammatical ChatGPT that's so open-ended. There's no details within the article. There's not the potent stuff.
There's not that's that flavor. It's like that, that mojo behind content. And you could tell. Funny enough, I work a lot with writing, and I can, in experimenting with ChatGPT, I can tell what was written by a human and what was written by generative AI in a lot of instances, because it's following a formula. At the end of the day, it's statistics and following a formula, and you can see patterns because of that. And people are really good at breaking patterns and figuring out patterns. So yeah, I mean, you can always, I think you'll always be able to tell the difference between what's really crafted and what's generated.
And it might be glaring. Like if you look at enough of it, you can start seeing it as a human. And if a human can see it,
Then you know
then
Google can.
Google can see it, right? If a dude can see it, then you're like, okay. And you look at enough of it to tell. That is wild, man. So really what, wrapping up this video, if a guy's going to use ChatGPT to create content and send it to you guys as a blog post, you guys post it, or an IPP page, a project page, if you will, how can they use it and how should they not use it?
I'd say don't rely on it as a crutch. It is a writing tool. So you need to feed it the facts. You need to give it the jumping off point for creating content. And then it needs to be manually read. You can't just hit generate and copy and paste that and send it on its way. It will make stuff up. I've seen it make stuff up incredibly wrong about, like you said, pressure washing on roofs or making up services that you may not offer. So it's definitely a tool, and treat it as such. You wouldn't just drop off a pressure washer on someone's driveway and call it a day. You need to be out there using your tool and the know-how you have to really maximize that work. So feed it good content, read it, edit it before you send it off as gospel truth. And that's a good way to start. And start small. Don't have it write a whole blog post. Have it write a paragraph for you. Have it write a project post for you. And as you get used to writing for it and figuring out how to make it tick, then you can maybe expand it to some longer form stuff. But yeah, start slow and reread that content for sure.
Okay. So start slow, reread it, make sure you're adding the mojo to it.
Yep, absolutely.
Because they don't know nothing about that. And look, your project pages, guys, just for context here, those are things that you should be turning in. You snap some before and afters. You go to your project portal that Footbridge Media gives you. You're going to fill it out, and you're going to say, where it was, so they can build a map for it. Give them the photos. All this is really easy to upload in the portal, and write a few sentences about the job. They're going to upload this. Now, what this is going to do is this is going to just tell Google that you're alive and that you're working in that area. Most contractors, man, I'm going to tell y'all, most contractors don't do anything in regard to their marketing. Just almost won't. Like you try to throw them the life vest, not going to do it. You're like, hey, I just need you to do a project page. Not going to do it, right? So if you're one of those people who is serious about your business, get with Footbridge. They will show you those project pages. They'll give you the portal. And you can use ChatGPT for some of that project page stuff. Avoid doing it long form content. Can they use it, Chris, to maybe do some like GPB posts?
Yeah, or even to generate ideas for it. If you hit a wall and you're trying to do some content generation yourself, go to ChatGPT and say, hey, give me 5 ideas for something I could tell my customers today. And it'll give you some good suggestions and jumping off points for sure.
I love that. Excellent. Guys, I hope you got a lot out of this video. Short video, simple, about how you can use ChatGPT as a tool belt in your arsenal for creating content. You can't rely on it completely because Google knows you're using AI to create long form content that you didn't write, which feels like it. If you actually read the content, you'll be able to be like, well, this does look like it was written by a robot, because we do not pressure wash a roof. That is a negatory statement right there. So go ahead, call Footbridge Media today. You'll get a hold of Aaron. I got the number below. Save $600 a year on your website build. I've had them, like I said, forever. They're going to be continuing to be. And there's a bunch of guys around the country, landscaping. They do plumbing. They do any type of mobile contractor or stationary type contractor. They're contractor web builds. They're the best in the game. Been in it from 2004. Chris, I appreciate you coming on the line here today, teaching us about ChatGPT, what we should do, what we shouldn't.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again, brother. Appreciate it.